there's a few things that predictably happen, right? On the one hand, you end up inspiring everyone around you because people love being part of the big thing, right? It's fun. It's exciting, right? People want to be part of the big thing. And the second thing, when you think way bigger, I mean, seriously, way bigger than you're used to thinking, quite often you end up having no competition along the way because no one else has the guts to go for that thing. So you end up being all by yourself. And of course, there's some poster children, people who are famous, we all know their names, who are known for thinking this way. Larry Page is a good example from Google. I mean, he's invested in so many different things, including AlphaGo, but also including they bought Boston Dynamics, which is making all these robots. This is an incredible company. And of course, they're also investing in their Project Loon, which is putting these balloons up in the high orbit, 60,000 feet, and providing internet around the globe. Unbelievable. There's still 3 billion people around the world that do not have internet access, but that's going to be changing soon from projects like Project Loon. And of course, Elon Musk is a great example. I mean, he's the guy, everyone here is familiar with Elon Musk. He's the guy who started SpaceX, where they're actually, and again, I know you know this, but I mean, to get your head around what's happening, they're reusing the rockets, right? So it costs roughly $60 million to send a rocket up. It depends on how big the rocket is and what the payload is and so on. But let's say $60,000 for what the Falcon 9 equivalent. How much does the fuel cost for that trip? Does anyone know, just out of curiosity? I'm sorry? Yeah, you do know what you're doing. $200,000. $200,000 for the fuel. The trip is $60 million. Imagine. If you could reuse the hardware, you could potentially reduce the cost 100-fold, or maybe 300-fold, potentially. You'd never get that low. But imagine. Right? So they send up rockets, and they bring the rockets right back down and land them again so they can reuse the thing. They failed the first few times, but they actually pulled it off for the first time just before Christmas of last year. The thing went all the way up, it came right back down, landed almost on the exact same platform, and when they pulled it off, the employees partied like it was 1999. And the average employee age is 27 years old. Guys, those are millennials. They get that generation gets a bad rap for being apathetic and lazy. Guys, they will work harder than anyone you've ever met if you give them something inspiring to work towards. Right? When you think bigger, you inspire everyone around you. It's a true statement. When you're doing something cool, those young kids that we all have to hire today, how do you get them fired up? Give them something big. And of course, Tesla, I mean, they started with the car. Wasn't a lot of competition there either at the beginning, right? But now they introduced the Model 3 and got over 400,000 pre-orders, right? Because no one else was doing it at the time. $35,000 car, they broke new ground, right? And the Powerwall, you guys hear about the Powerwall? The Powerwall is basically a pretty attractive battery that you hang on your wall. It looks like a piece of art, and you connect it with the solar panels on the roof of your house so that the battery charges during the day, you can use it at night, and disconnect from the power grid entirely. Any competition? Right? Now they got the Tesla power stations. Now they're competing with gas stations. Right? It's incredible. Super power stations, right? And of course, I'm sure many of you have seen the construction of the Gigafactory in Nevada. This is the Gigafactory, the construction of it. The thing is absolutely enormous. When it's finished, it's going to be the biggest individual building on the planet by footprint. There's actually one more by volume, which is bigger, which is the Boeing assembly plant in Washington State. But the biggest footprint building in the world is going to be the Gigafactory in Nevada once it's finished, once it's completed. They've already opened part of it, but it's only this small space right here that they've opened so far. So the thing is absolutely huge when it's going to be finished. So all these people, right, all these people that we know so well, the things that set them apart is that they think bigger. And as a result of doing that, they end up in a place that no one else has gone. They end up the first one to market each time because they're the first ones to look at that as an option. So it's about leadership, right? And when you see these technologies and the things that are possible, there's an opportunity there to take a leadership role and to really drive that innovation forward. It's about thinking bigger.